Okay, hello again. So, on Thursday evening, I ended up checking myself into the emergency room because I was suicidal. So, I want to talk about like what led to that and then talk about my experience at the hospital and then talk about kind of some stuff that's happened since then. Um so yeah, so I was watching a movie and after I was done, I go to hop on Twitter only to find that my Twitter account was suspended. Now, I haven't heard back from Twitter as to why the Twitter account was suspended, which that's something that I don't understand. Like, I don't understand if they suspend your account, why don't they like send you an email right away telling you why they've done it? Anyway, but I'm pretty sure I know why. I posted a screenshot of a comment somebody had made 4 years ago. It was a discuss comment where they were commenting on an article. The comment included their real name, so I redacted that, but it also included their photograph, which I had neglected to redact. And I posted this comment because I wanted people to see that the person that this person is presenting themselves as and the views they're currently expressing contradict what they believed and who they were 4 years ago, right? And so and this is somebody who like craps on trans people. This is a trans woman who craps on certain trans people, and by her current standards, her old self would not have qualified as a transsexual, or at least would have been questionable. And so, so I posted this and I tagged the person in it because I wanted people to see that, hey, what's going on here? Now the person has me blocked, so of course they're not going to see the comment show up in their mentions. But people, followers of theirs, of course, are going to see it. And so somebody saw it and somebody reported me for doxing. I'm pretty sure that's what it was reported for. And now, honestly, at most, what could possibly qualify as doxing is that I forgot to redact the photo. But this is stuff that this person publicly posted themselves. So, but anyway, I'm not here to debate as to what qualifies as doxing or what doesn't. Anyway, so then I ended up hopping over onto Discord, onto one of the Discord servers I'm on. Uh, so, and I have no real world friends. So social media is my primary social outlet. So I was upset over losing Twitter because Twitter has been my primary social media outlet. So I go onto Discord, which has become basically like a secondary, outlet. And folks on this Discord server, they already knew about this. One of the people had been sent a screenshot, had been sent links to my tweet, whatever. And people were giving me all kinds of crap because, because I was doxing and all of this. And one person even called me a mongoloid. And so I was already upset, and this just added to that. And so I was pretty upset, and I was like starting to have suicidal thoughts and everything. So I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to err on the side of caution, and I'm just going to go check myself into the ER. I live alone, so I better to be safe than sorry, right? So I did. So I hopped an Uber, went to the hospital, checked myself in. And so the first thing that happens is triage. You get seen by the nurse, and they kind of get a sense of how bad whatever you got going on is and everything. So I saw the nurse, and they start by just, doing, taking your temperature and your blood pressure and checking your oxygen saturation and all that. And then from there, I had to go give blood and go give a urine sample. And so I had to wait there for a little while, to waiting there to before the person showed up to take my blood. And I was sitting there, my like anxiety level was kind of elevated. And I was looking around, just kind of looking in my surroundings, just kind of looking and thinking, okay, what do I have in my surroundings that I could use to kill myself? Now, I wasn't really entirely thinking that I would actually want to kill myself, but but the fact that I was looking around going, okay, what around here could I use to kill myself? That just shows where my mind was, right? So yeah, so anyway, I get blood drawn and I give a urine sample, and then they ended up taking me to the room. Now, I've been to that ER before because of my asthma, but I'd never been there for psych stuff. So the room was very, very sparse. They took out damn near everything, right? The bed was there. There was like a piece of furniture which I think might be like attached. I'm not sure. And there's a thing with drawers and like whatever flat space on top that you could set things on. And then there was, the computer that the nurses use to input stuff. And of course, there's the sink that's mounted to the wall, and there was a little monitor that's mounted to an arm and that normally is plugged into like the heart rate pads and whatever. Yeah, very, very sparse, of course, because they wanted to remove anything that you could hurt yourself with. So I'm in this room that's very sparse, and they ended up taking all of my stuff except for my cell phone. They took my bag, they took my cane. They took all of that, and that got locked away. So I've just got my phone, and they had me change my clothes. And rather than giving me the usual hospital gown, they gave me paper scrubs. It was like the pants and a top that were this weird kind of material that is kind of papery. I mean, it wasn't like super fragile like paper is, but it did have a kind of papery quality to it. So I'm just wearing that and my underwear, right? And of course my clothes was locked away with the other stuff. And so I'm just lying there in the bed. I've got that, and I've got, a blanket. And the room has a sliding glass door, and then right outside the room is a security guard. And the psych person wasn't available until the morning, so I had to spend the night. Which is fine, because that's what I wanted to do anyway. More than anything, I just wanted somewhere else that I could be, right? Somewhere where I knew I was going to be safe. And so I spent some time on my phone. There were some other folks on Discord that I was chatting with, which is good. But my phone was running down, and so I at one point I asked if I could I normally carry, I actually got it right here. I normally carry this USB battery so I can charge my phone up, and I had asked to do that, but I wasn't allowed. I guess they didn't want me to have the USB cable because I might try and choke myself with it or something. I don't know. But yeah, so once my phone got down to like 15% or 10% or whatever it was, I just shut the phone off and tried to get some sleep as best I could, which I got a little bit of sleep, but not much. So the next morning, the nurse comes in and brings me some food. And then, of course, I informed the nurse that I'm a vegan, so the food had to be taken back. And honestly, I wasn't really expecting food, because the times I've been in the ER before, they've never given me food, so I was not expecting food. And honestly, I'm surprised that nobody asked my dietary preferences. Well, apparently they didn't really have anything vegan for breakfast, so I was offered a banana, and I don't like bananas, so I turned it down. And then at one point, and then the nurse says something like, "Well, there's oatmeal. Is that vegan?" I didn't want oatmeal, and of course, whether the oatmeal is vegan or not is depends. Do they put dairy in it? Anyway, so yeah, I ended up not having any breakfast because, yeah. And I was actually there long enough that around noon they actually had lunch, and this time they actually brought me something vegan. They brought me a veggie burger with lettuce and tomato and some potato chips and some juice, a pear that I didn't eat, and some grapes. And the veggie burger, not the best, but it was edible. And, you know, one of the things while I was in there in that room, I was thinking about, like, okay, with what's available to me, which was, of course, very little, what could I use to hurt myself or somebody else? Now, at this point, I wasn't actually thinking about this in terms of I want to hurt myself or I want to hurt other people. I was thinking about it more in terms of a mental exercise. You know, it was more just like, okay, I've got very little to work with. What can I do? It was fun. Actually, it was a fun mental exercise. And one of the things that I had thought about, you know, with the food, I thought, oh, well, you know, I could whack somebody with the meal tray, right? You know, you whack somebody with the edge of one of those, you know, plastic trays, and you could hurt somebody. Well, they actually thought of that, and the tray that my lunch came on was styrofoam. So yeah, like my lunch did not have any cutlery of any sort. No fork, no spoon, no knife, no spoon, no nothing. You know, it was on a styrofoam tray, paper cup. You know, the burger wrapped in paper. You know, there was pretty much nothing there that I could have easily used as a weapon. So they're pretty serious about making sure that you have nothing there that you can hurt yourself or somebody else with. So yeah, sometime after lunch is when I can't remember if it was before or after lunch, but at some point, I actually got to see the mental health guy, the psychiatric social worker. Now, initially, you know, it was like, at that point I was just like, you know what, I just want to get out of here, and of course he had to clear me. So I was just kind of dealing with the guy and answering his questions or whatever, because it was just sort of like, okay, whatever, let's just get this done and over with so I can get out of here. But the discussion I had with him actually turned out to be really, really good. So if you find yourself in a situation like this, please, please, please actually participate in the process. You know, because yeah, you might just be sick of being there and you just want to leave, but actually participate in the process. It's good. It's helpful. Okay, this isn't just stuff that they pulled out of their ass yesterday. This is stuff that has come about over the years based on, you know, research and trial and error and whatever. So we were having a discussion about things, you know, like things that I can do when I'm upset and all of this. And I was having trouble thinking of stuff. And so one of the things he suggested was, oh, do you like shopping? And yes, I do like shopping. So yeah, we had this really nice discussion. And then of course I promised to him that I wouldn't hurt myself and all of this, and so, you know, and he felt that I wasn't a danger to myself and all of this, so I was cleared, and then I was also medically cleared because the medical doctor has to clear you as well. And so I was cleared, and then I got discharged. And thankfully, I have really good insurance, so my stay cost me nothing. Which, that's one of the reasons I went to the ER, is because I knew that it wasn't going to cost me anything, so I could afford to be a little extra cautious because I didn't have to stop and think, oh, gee, is it really bad enough that I'm going to be willing to pay for it, you know? This is one reason why we really need a proper universal, single-payer universal healthcare system. But that's another video. So anyway, after I got out, I went to the cafeteria there to get some coffee. And I'm sitting there drinking my coffee and eating a cookie, and I was thinking about my whole situation, and I was getting upset. So, and I ended up, then hopping on the bus to go home, but I ended up not going home. I ended up deciding to go shopping, because that's one of the things that we talked about. So I ended up visiting a thrift shop that I've never been to before, and it was great. I mean, I got some nice stuff. I got a new tape deck for my stereo system and a nice stone pipe, which has been working really nice for smoking weed, and a purple and black skirt. And it was pretty good, and they were having a sale, which was awesome. And so yeah, and so going out instead of going straight home was good for me. It took my mind off stuff. It gave me something else to think about. And so even though initially when I was talking to the guy, it was just like I said, it was like, yeah, let's get this done and over with. It turned out to be really, really good. The discussion we had and the ideas we were, talking about turned out to be really good. And so one of the things that you have to do after you get discharged is you have to then later go for an appointment with the mental health, to just check up on everything. So my appointment is going to be today at 2 p.m. I guess I'm going to see a psychiatrist or somebody just so they can make sure everything is okay. And then, of course, I still have to make an appointment with my regular psychiatrist and my regular therapist, which I just haven't gotten around to doing those. So yeah, I'm actually doing pretty well. And things that I have learned, I think, from this experience is you have to be, honestly, if you value social media that much, then you really want to be careful about doing things that are going to get you booted off of social media. And honestly, if I had known that post was going to get me kicked off of Twitter, I wouldn't have done it, frankly. And, this person, they just know how to push my buttons. There's been one other person that's been able to do that. A guy named Hope Lai. He used to be on Twitter. At one point he was under the name Street Voice UK and another under the name Hope Pink Boots. And he knew how to get me really upset. He knew how to push my buttons. And this other person, they've known how to push my buttons too. And so, yeah, that led me to making a serious mistake. And I did end up messaging, filling out the little form on Twitter's website to see if I could get my account reinstated. But I still haven't heard back from Twitter. They did say it can take a few days. And so I'm hoping that my Twitter account will come back. I really hope so. But if it doesn't, I might try getting back on Twitter at some point, but certainly not right away. And there's a part of me that just wants to ditch Twitter completely. Because I found that the times that I've left Twitter, I miss it. But then, once I don't have access to it, then it's kind of then I realize just how much time I spend on Twitter, how much time it's taking up. So, I don't know. I really need to spend more time here with all of you in front of the camera, and maybe spend less time on Twitter and more time making videos. I mean, before I ever got on Twitter, my main outlet was YouTube. I mean, I spent plenty of time on YouTube comments, so maybe that's what I need to do. I mean, there is the saying Twitter is cancer, so maybe I just need to say screw Twitter. I mean, yeah, I had met some cool people on there, but if Twitter's just going to wind up getting me upset and I'm going to just, I mean, for fuck's sake, man, Twitter was bad enough that I had to check myself into the ER because I was suicidal. When a social media platform does that, yeah, maybe that's just the time to say goodbye, but we'll see. Now, so some things that I'm planning on doing to try to help keep this kind of stuff from happening again is I definitely need to go out more. I spend too much time just sitting around at home, and one thing I do enjoy is photography, which I haven't done much in a while. So I'm probably going to see about getting back into that. And I do need to contact the dermatology department to see about getting back on, get back onto doing some laser hair removal. And since, my insurance pays for that stuff, so I should take advantage of it while I can. And then, of course, get my butt back into the gym. And I can find things to do that are either free or cheap, and I should probably, maybe just try to get out to Los Angeles, and go see some stuff there. I mean, yeah, it's going to cost money to take the train over there, but it's not too bad. So that's what I'm going to do. The other thing that I'm going to do is next month I am going to be getting myself a tattoo. I don't have any tattoos yet. I've been wanting one for a while, and I found, I think, the tattoo that I need right now. It's a tattoo of a semicolon. So I found myself looking at tattoo videos, and then I was thinking about tattoos, and I thought, maybe I should get a suicide-related tattoo, And so I was looking that up, and I was seeing all these pictures of semicolon tattoos, and so I was like, what's the deal with the semicolon? So I looked it up, and that comes from Project Semicolon, that's something that was started just a few years ago, I guess, where they were encouraging people to draw semicolons on themselves and take pictures of it, to promote mental health stuff. And the idea behind the semicolon is that a semicolon is where an author can end a sentence, but they choose to go on, right? They choose to continue the sentence. So the idea is that your life is the sentence, and that you can choose to end your life, but you've decided to continue. And I'm a grammar Nazi who actually really likes semicolons. They're one of my favorite punctuation marks. And so I really dig the sentiment behind the semicolon. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to see about getting a semicolon tattoo. I'm going to get it like right along in here. So that way, if I ever, if I'm feeling upset or whatever, I've got that tattoo that I can easily look at to remind myself. And that semicolon that's all of the resources I have, all of the things that I can do to not end the sentence. All the way up to like checking myself back into the ER if that's what I need to do. So yeah, and Now, this tattoo is definitely an impulse tattoo, which I'm generally not a fan of that. I'm a fan of like putting thought into a tattoo and not just going, "Ooh, that sounds cool. I want that." But I think this is a good impulse tattoo because, well, first of all, it's going to be just a very simple. It's just going to be a black semicolon. Nothing, nothing elaborate, nothing fancy. So it's just going to be a very simple tattoo. It's not going to be very big. And it's something that has a great deal of meaning. And so, and, and also, like, getting this tattoo is also just kind of displays a commitment. Like, kind of me, just saying to myself, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that doesn't happen. Because that I can, live a good long life, So yeah, it's going to be an impulse tattoo, but I think it'll be a good one. So I had some other thoughts on what my first tattoo ever would be, but I'm going to do this. And, the tattoo is going to be small enough that I should have no trouble affording it. Other tattoos I definitely would want to save up money for and maybe talk to the artist to get a price estimate and all this kind of stuff. But a relatively small semicolon on, that I can't imagine that's going to be that expensive. I mean, I have to imagine that it's going to be less than $100, right? So, and also, one of the things too about this design is it's a simple enough design that any competent tattoo artist should be able to do it. Like, I'm not going to have to go hunt around for somebody special to do it. And I was looking up tattoo shops, and there's actually one not too far from here. And because it's such a simple design, I'm pretty confident that the person they've got there will be able to do it. And I was actually looking them up on. I was looking at the tattoo shop on Facebook, and they do some really nice work. They do some really nice portrait work. But, again, given how simple the semicolon is, it really doesn't matter what the style of the artist is. They should be able to do a semicolon, So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm going to do to help with my mental health stuff. And a little while back I did get on antidepressants, and I just have to make sure that I stay on top of that. And hopefully I will not end up suicidal again, but who knows. I've been suicidal so many times that I may very well go that route again. But right now I'm feeling pretty positive about stuff, so yeah. And, I'm sharing my story here because, I want people to know that there's no shame in any of this. Like, if you've got a problem, like, get help. And if you need to, like, go check yourself into the ER if you think you might hurt yourself. Like, get the frickin' help you need. Don't let it bottle up, because you don't want to end up doing something you're going to regret, or something that you're not going to be able to regret because you're going to be dead. So please, get the help you need if you need it. There's no shame in it. Just do what you need to do, and, and yeah. So I guess that's it for this video, and I hope that you have, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe and comment and all that fun stuff. And I will see you on the next one.